Hey everyone. Um, so here we are on a Monday, start of a new week. Baseball's back, so we got plenty of action happening there. We're just a couple of days away from the NBA kicking off, so that is exciting. And then a couple of days after that in NHL, so we'll have a full, almost back to a full slate of maybe not completely normal, but a few other things to be aware of. With games getting postponed in domes and things like that. Um, So I wanted to start a little early today just because the main slate starts at 6:40 p.m. Eastern, so I want to make sure that everyone's got time to get lineups in and not have to rush everything. Um, I will first off do a before we get into gambling. I will run through my memory of the day for each day of my 50th year. Today is July 27th. This is day 21 of 366. Um, oh, this is really funny. This is really funny. K Rock. This is funny because today's memory is the cave, which Karen's mom brought this up yesterday. Just not knowing at all what was the what I was going. I didn't even know what I was going into again. I've planned some of these out in advance, just so that I'm not scrambling every day to remember one of my stories. Um, but yeah, she had just mentioned the cavern. So of uh, day 21 of 366. Just the other day I talked about the Eisenhower Tunnel and being 11,000 feet above sea level. And so today, I'm going to go in completely the opposite direction, going 220 feet under the ground. Um, and this was one of the times that we visited the Shenandoah Cavern um, in Virginia, which on the website and all that, it lists itself as being, quotes, technically wheelchair accessible. But they make it clear they are not ADA, accessible. It's a cavern. Um, so basically, it just says it lets you know, hey, we have an elevator, and the elevator goes down to the base of the cavern, to the start of the cavern, to the entrance. After that, it's just gravel, rockways, and slopes and all that. So it's not like it's paved, and it's certainly not, based on, oh, it can only be this much of an angle or whatever. It's just the cavern. And we figured, well, if we can get in, then we're going. That's never stopped us from doing something like that before. So we go there, and great time. Get down to the cavern. It's like a mile and a half, I think, round trips. You go like 3/4 of a mile or a little more into the cavern. All underground. A couple of them, very you know uh, tight quarters in a couple different parts. Where you know it was like, okay, are we gonna be able to fit through there? And Karen would like get in front of me, and I'd guide her, and I had to lower my head. I think we even had to lower the back of the chair down once a little bit to get underneath this rock cropping. So we did that. Went as far as far as we could. There was one section that was just impossible. There was no way for wheelchairs to go up because it was this super super steep incline that went up to this kind of offshoot cavern. But that Karen and Dave and her mom, who went with us as well, who at that point I think was 90 or 91, something like that. Um, Yeah, maybe 90. I think I'm gonna say 90. Um, and but just really great. Dave is claustrophobic. You know, but he enjoyed it as well. I mean, there are times where it's obviously times where it's a huge cavern and you don't even really think, oh man, I'm under the earth here. And then there are times, like I said, where it's tight and we were able to maneuver the wheelchair around things and get deeper than probably we should have been able to get. And then there's parts where they turn out the lights and there's like a wall that just lights up fluorescent and all of it's all on its own and stones that are twinkling and really really very cool. Very much obviously you think of Journey to the Center of the Earth when you're there if you're a fantasy fan and I got when we there was another guy in a pushing a manual wheelchair that was there with someone who was pushing him around, and he was probably roughly my age. I couldn't tell. Maybe a slightly older. He wasn't an older individual. He had, but somewhere basically in the same age bracket. And so when we got to the one part where the wheelchairs just could not go, just the two of us stayed together down below. And the thing was, he did not speak English at all. He was French. Or from, I don't know if he was French Canadian or French, I wasn't clear. Because he could not at all speak French Canadian, Karen says. Doesn't really matter for the story, but I'm glad that we took that extra time to verify that it was French Canadian, not French. He definitely spoke French. Um, but we were sitting there hanging out and really couldn't communicate at all, except that a few words that we understood, like hockey, and and uh, and then Mario Lemieux. I was able to, he was able to say something along the lines of, where we're from, and I was like, oh, from Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh, and he's like, oh, hockey. I was like, oh yeah, I love ice hockey. Mario Lemieux. Oh, Le Magnifique. And then he was like went off on this whole thing about Mario Lemieux, and didn't even know exactly what we were saying, but it was fun times. 220 feet down under the earth. And then we're on our way back, leaving the cavern, and when you first get into the cavern, it's a very big, open cavern, but it's very steep. It's not so much that we couldn't go down it, but I remember thinking on the way in, this could prove interesting. On the way out, because it's all stone, it's all gravel, and I knew, on the way out of here, man, we're gonna have to hit it and just keep momentum, because there's some parts where the stones get a little thicker, and you don't want to stop and so we get there, and we're at the final thing, and I'm like, all right, turn up the power and let's go. Karen locks my hand in place. We start shooting up this big incline, and tires are sliding every so often one way or the other, but we're moving. Karen's walking fast, almost jogging alongside me, and chair, fishtails out a little bit one side, fishtails out over the other side, but we're keeping going. We're doing good. We get maybe almost 3/4 of the way up, 2/3, 3/4, and boom, fuse on my chair blows out. Whole chair just shuts down. We're like, oh no. And so there we are. Chair is completely dead. You know, the rest of the group eventually catches up to us. We explained to the tour guide, and filled Dave in and Karen's mom. Well, here's here's what happened, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's good." So we explained to the tour guide, "Go ahead, get the rest of the group out, and we'll see what we can do here." Well, it turned out that there was a middle-aged guy, a military veteran, that was in the group as well, And he was like, I'll stay behind and help. And we were like, oh, thanks so much. So everyone else left. You know, we remembered and figured out, okay, there's a way to disengage the magnetic drives on the chair to make the wheels rotate freely, like turn it into more of an extremely heavy manual wheelchair. And so we got that all done. And then between Dave and the veteran and Karen walking backwards to steer because all they could do was push. Because it was, like I said, it was up this big incline and rocks. And so they were just providing the horsepower going forward. And Karen's walking backwards, and I'm telling her, a little more to your right, a little more to your left, a little more left, so that she's pulling the chair one way or the other to make sure that we can get to the concrete platform up top. And we did, I mean, it wasn't overly long either. I mean, it was maybe 15, 20 minutes of, trying to figure out how to disengage the wheels and all that, which we did. We got up there, we got back into the elevator, got out of the elevator, thanked the guy profusely. He was like, "Oh yeah, no, 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 you know." I can't remember if he had someone that was, or he was used to it or something along those lines, and it's just the kind of guy he was. So he was awesome. Uh, got out of the elevator. Remembered that there was some way to reset the fuses on the chair. There was a button somewhere, so we tracked that down, pressed it. It worked. The chair never really worked 100% after that. But it was an older chair anyway. I had it for years and years. We still got another year and a half or so out of it. With another great story that will probably be here somewhere about Epcot Center with the wheelchair on a very hot day and a good adventure. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, so got the chair repaired, continued on our day. But that is my story for July 27th, day 21, is our adventure 220 feet under the earth in Virginia in the Shenandoah Caverns. Now, on to some gambling. All the NFL preseason games have been canceled. Okay, there you go. There's breaking news. Breaking news, all NFL preseason games have been canceled. So we will see.
Training camps are starting.
Yeah, training camps are starting, but we'll see what happens. They might just be playing it safe with the preseason games, but we'll see. So now let's get the bets in for tonight's Major League Baseball. I've only looked at briefly. A couple of games have been canceled, not because of weather. Because you can look here. Baltimore Miami's been postponed, even though it's in a dome, and the New York Philly game has been postponed, even though it's sunny. So let's take a look at who we want to draft today. Based on some of the numbers that I've seen, some of the folks suggesting making their own write-ups, predictions, and all that, it does seem to me that Adrian Hauser here is a good place to start. 8,300. He's going against Pittsburgh, who has not been great thus far in the first few games. And while Hauser wasn't necessarily awesome last year, uh, he throws a ton of ground balls, and 53% of the hits against him are ground balls. And he has a 25% strikeout rate last year. Um, and he's a fastball pitcher, and the Pirates, at least historically as of last year, had difficulty hitting the fastball. They're one of the 10 worst teams in the league hitting the fastball. So I think 8,300. That's a good price. I like it. We're gonna go with him as one of our primary pitchers. I don't see right now the desire to jump up to 10,300 here. Yeah, I mean this is a that's a big jump. That's a big price jump there for anybody else. And then even the Cleveland pitcher there, Aaron Savale, I don't know how to pronounce his name. That's just too big of a jump for me. Um, I'm looking more in the possibly Tyler here, the Tyler Glasnow range at 8,900. I pitching at home. I kind of like this. Um, where's the other one here? Fulmer or Montgomery. These are both good money saving options here, I think. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with Hauser, see what we can build out, and then see where we can go with our other pitcher. And in terms of who we're looking to target here, it seemed like virtually everyone was interested in targeting Waka with the with the Red Sox, which this is a what 2,352 person tournament. With 3 entries max. Um, I'm not looking at this. Fulmer's here starting for Detroit, but you've also got Burrows as the probable long reliever. So what are you going to get out of him? Same thing for the Boston guy. You got Josh Osich, but you got Godley as the probable long reliever. So now the write up thing on Waka was Waka really struggled against right-handed hitting. Uh, also, looking at the individual stats, there's not a lot of really super hot hitters against that you can stack along right there. You could look at Cincinnati, There's a couple of guys there. Eugene Suarez and Nick Castellanos both have good history against Leicester. Um, so those are a couple of guys that we could definitely look at filling in there. Um, right opposite that too is Chris Bryant and Albert Amora. They both hit the opposing pitcher for Cincinnati, Wade Miley, pretty well. It's hard to get past Eugene Suarez. I mean, he's going to be heavily owned, isn't he? Let's see, what's his price? Suarez is coming in at 4,600, batting third. Suarez is 16 out of 42 against John Lester. He's 16 out of 42 against John Lester. That's a 381 average. But he's got 6 home runs. That's massive. He's going to be super highly owned. That's the one downside there. Unless there's enough people in this particular tournament that aren't aware of that, which I don't expect, since more and more everybody's getting, into the. I don't see any way not to go with Suarez though here. I mean, 4,600. That's a good price. Now, obviously, that means that you can't take Chris Bryant. What does Chris Bryant do against Wade Miley? He's 6 out of 14, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Yeah, I mean, I think you almost have to go with Suarez here. He strikes out good, but he's got 9 strikeouts against Leicester too. But 9 strikeouts compared to 9 extra base hits, 6 of those 9 being home runs, 12 RBIs. So let's start our build with him. Let's start our build with Eugenio Suarez. Then let's go over and let's stick with Cincinnati for a moment and see. Looks like there's potential rain there. We'll have to keep our eye on that. Then you got Nick, who's also fairly hot against Leicester. He's 7 out of 12. So he's faced him 12 times. He's got 7 hits. Only struck out once. 4 of those 7 have been extra base hits, and 3 of them have been home runs. You got no choice but to take him. And if you're going to take both of them, right? I mean, if you're going to take both of them, let's see. If we look at the cold batter matchups, Philip Evans is no good against them. No particularly hot pitchers today. I mean, you almost really want to go with Irvin here, right? As a money saver in the outfield, and hopefully get in position where heck, I'm even looking at Kurt Casale here. Yeah, I know he's batting ninth, but you could go with Casali and Votto seems a bit. I'm looking at Irvin right now. Hey TK, you you did, but it's gonna be posted. Uh, my schedule's switching up a little bit for multiple reasons this week, both work and the return of baseball. Um, yeah, but it'll be. I'll get it posted as soon as I'm done here. All right, so Irvin is actually the guy that struggles against against Leicester. He's batting 250, no extra base hits, 4 strikeouts. So that obviously makes me want to steer away from Irvin. And then the question is, do I want to go with Joey Votto at first place? What at first base? Yeah, let's put Joey Votto in there for now. Cool, dude. I will if I will be here at the computer for a while. I will swing by your stream as soon as I wrap this up. I was gonna say, I'm missing the reference on that one. Today's a good day for Ari. Yeah, it could be, dude. It could be. I had another great golf weekend, which I'll be recapping here shortly for everyone. Not great, but good. I picked a guy to be in the. I won $200 and some dollars off one guy because he wound up finishing third, so it was good. Um, yeah, Pirate Talk. But all right, so let's say if I throw Joey Votto in there, we're at 49.80 at that point. Now, we could still look at stacking some Red Sox here. Let's bring up some Red Sox. All right, we can get Martinez at 4,700. We can get Bogarts. Good old Xander Bogart. Xander Bogarts. That's his real name. All right, get Xander at only 4,200. That's awesome. Cannot get Moreland. Let's see. We could get Benintendi batting leadoff. That would not be bad. Do we want Votto in there more than Moreland? I don't think that we do. If we drop Votto and instead go Moreland, it's jacking our money up a good bit because we still need another pitcher. And we could still go with Benintendi here in the outfield, leaving us just a second baseman and a pitcher. So let's, for the time, we're going to throw we're going to throw Benintendi in there, which gives us a good bit of cash. And then let's jump back over to the pitchers. Well, let's see. Let's take a look at second base real quick. Second base. Who do we want at second base? We could go Jose Altuve right off the top there. I am very tempted just by Nico Goodrum. Let's take Altuve. Which leaves us with what? 8,400 left on pitching. Just short of Josh. Well, there's a couple different ways we could go here. If we decide, yep, okay, we're gonna stick with Hauser. I think we're going to do that. I know it's going against my hometown. It's going against my hometown Pirates, but want to say away from Fulmer. I want to say I might I could possibly go towards Montgomery, but see this is where the problem lies right now. I don't want to go with anybody here. I'm not going to go with Waka against the Boston stack. If I could get $200 more somewhere, I could close out James as my secondary pitcher. But well, I don't. I mean, I've got Altuve in there. But I could switch that over to Berryfield. I don't have anybody. I don't have any. Yeah. Merrifield gives us flexibility there. I could grab Whit Merrifield. Right? Whit? That's the name. Whit. Yep, Whit Merrifield. Bat and lead off. I don't think it makes sense anywhere else. Peraza. I'll tell you, this is one of those situations where, like, right now, according to the projections, Merrifield is predicted to have a great performance. I am just getting an annoying pull towards Goodrum. So I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna switch out Altuve and look at either Goodrum or Merrifield, and then lock in Josh James. Obviously, there's a bunch of different ways you can go here. I'm just looking at these two mid-priced guys to hopefully have a decent performance here. And then going with a Cincinnati stack and a Boston stack. A four strong Boston stack and a 3 Cincinnati stack. I think you gotta lock in Suarez. He hits Lester hard, and you've got to get away from Castellanos would be rough. They're batting 3 and 4, and if you're gonna take both of them, you want to try and get somebody who might be on base. You know, I mean, Votto is too expensive. Votto is too expensive. And Irvin struggles way too hard against Lester. So if you take Kurt at the catcher, Second time through the lineup, maybe you get Kurt on base, and maybe it comes around to Suarez or Castellanos there, and you get to pick up some extra runs. I mean, it looks like, you know, it looks like another option would be if I went with Merrifield. No, still can't get Joey Votto in there. So we can forget about that. So I'm saying lock in Suarez, lock in Castellanos. If you're gonna do that, grab somebody. If you want to try to work out, if you want to go with Irvin, go with Irvin. You know, I mean, you never know with baseball, right? I'm just gonna go with the catcher, money saving catcher here. Look at the Boston stack. I think there's definitely on Bogarts. It's a great price for him. And then for me, mid-range pitching is the way to go today. I mean, if you can always look to spend up and then grab a money saver and hope that something happens, but that's what I'm looking at. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that winds up. The question for me is, am I going to go with the projection? Or am I going to go with my gut telling me to go one way? You know, or do I want to get another lineup in? Just to cover myself. I am hungry, also, by the way. If I entered a second lineup, what would I want to go with? I'd probably want to go with a reasonably small single entry tournament. What's this one? 284. That's not bad. $25 single entry. Don't want to do the $25 single entry. Here's a $12 single entry. 490 people, top 102. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's enter this one. We will enter a second baseball lineup into this $12 single entry tournament. And let's see, do we want to go with basically look at the same lineup, but possibly switch out our second baseman here? Let's see if we have any more updates on the weather, by the way, because that could definitely affect. Let's see, weather. Okay, so right now, Chicago and Cincinnati is a likely delay rainout. Man, that. Mm. Showers and thunderstorms are likely delay and possibly postpone Monday night Central matchup at the Great American Ballpark. If the game is played, winds will be blowing out to left field and will improve home run chances in that direction. 23% chance of rain. Man, I wish I could. Is there a way to get some weather? We could always look at building a secondary stack without the Cincinnati players involved. If we remove our Cincinnati players, if we remove our Cincinnati players, what other stack could we possibly look at here that would fit? We could possibly switch over to a Houston stack. Keep our Boston stack. Go with a Altuve. Move Altuve back into the second base spot. Move Bregman into the third base slot. Get Michael Brantley into the outfield. And then who could we? Who would we look at with? We could go Salvador Perez for Kansas City, and by avoiding the Cincinnati guy there, same price. Well, look at that. We'll throw that in there. So we're going to go with two lineups. Josh James and Hauser as our starting pitchers on both. A Boston stack on one, looking at Moreland, Bogarts, Martinez, and Benintendi, along with a Houston stack with Altuve, Bregman, and Brantley, and the catcher Perez for Kansas City. And on the other one, I'm going to go with the same pitchers and Boston stack, but instead going with a little Cincinnati stack there and said, okay, so that's what we're going to do. Alrighty, let's see. Computer, turn on Dragon Lamp.
Okay.
Alright, so now that we've got that done, let's do a quick recap of the weekend. So everyone knows where everything happened. So first of all, quick check on our golf. We know that our fantasy team, again, missed 2 cuts and a guy withdrew. Have not been lucky on that at all. You know, overall, Gooch did well, minus 13, wound up in 18th place, and Schwab did well. So our 2 money savers did great for us. 91. The guy who saved us was Homa. We had some bets on Redmond to win the tournament, top 5, top 10, top 20. Washed out on those. But Homa, we had him $10 to win, which he didn't win. But then we had $10 on him to be in the top 5. He was third, so that paid us back. That brought back around $45. We had $15 on him to be in the top 10. That brought us back about $93. And then we had a $20 bet on him to be top 20. That brought us back $100. So overall, Max brought back to us around $230 or $240, which more than covered all of our sportsbook bets and covered our golf entry, our MMA entry, and put us a little bit ahead there. So good to go there. Also, let's see from the weekend. Yeah, our fighters, quick recap there. Did not work out well for us. Started out great. Aspinall did great. Got a great knockout in the first round. Scored 105 points on that. Kamzat did what I think everyone expected him to do. Just destroyed the guy in the first round. 124 points. That was great. After that, though, Sabota went the distance, but just didn't have the skills. Lost that, so that was disappointing. And then Antigolov got a decent upset in the first round by Craig. So that was not helpful to us at all. Esperanza brought back a decision victory, and then Till, which was our primary upset pick, wound up missing out. So no luck on the MMA, which is okay. Let's see, what else have we got from the weekend? Oh yeah, we had this was our most recent KBO double up. Coup, human performance here, man. Barely scored didn't even get 19 points. 6 hits, 300 runs, did not get the win. Not good. Buchanan, again, not great either. Had 2 guys lined up to play who didn't. That hurt us. And Quan, who got us nothing. Obviously we went with the Dino stack, thinking that was the way to go. Songbom Na came in with a 2-run home run. Other than that, though, not enough. Fernandez did fine. And Troy did great. But the rest dropped too many. Even as it was, we were 12th. It was a 22-person tournament. Top 10 got paid. We were 12th position, so we barely wound up out of the money on that one. So over the course of the weekend, between the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games, we went 2 out of 3 with our double ups. So we'll take that. And then also on Saturday, Yeah, Saturday night we played in the late slate for the Major League Baseball and did fairly well. Um, this was a pretty small tournament. This was a $12 tournament. Um, Lamette, great job. Only 5 innings, but hey, 8 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, scored 25 points. Paxton, not great. Only got 1 inning in, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, lost a ton of points. Fortunately, 70% of the people owned them, but still, 9,000. That you hate that. Lamb was a late change because the first baseman got scratched for the Padres. Torres had nothing, but the rest of our San Diego stack came through enough to get us into the money. So this was a $25 win on a $12 bet. Um, it was, what was it? 30th place out of the 200, whatever. But yeah, so the rest of the stack came in good. And again, this was, Myers was the guy that we had said we knew that he hit the Arizona, what's his name, Rays, Robbie Rays, the pitcher, that he hit him for power. That he was only batting 200 against him in his career. Only had like 4 hits, but 3 of those 4 hits were home runs, and he got a home run. So we're happy about that. Machado got us another home run, and Pham, who we had said was batting 500 against the guy, got a hit, but also got 2 walks and 2 stolen bases. That's fantastic. So overall, good enough here to get into the money on a $12 one. So that adds to us a bit. And then we had a quick run through last night, which was a showdown, and obviously on this one, we were going for the Dodgers, and it did not happen that way. We had a chance if Taylor would have done. There was a couple of times Taylor was at bat with men on base, and he was only 1.7% captained. If he would have just gotten a couple of hits, because it was 294 people, 70 people paid. We only got 42 points, but we were only 20 points out of first. So a couple of hits from Taylor would have changed up everything. 32 minutes. Would have changed up everything for us. We had almost captained Ruff also, which would have been much better. It would have saved us money. Would have been able to have us change up our lineup a little bit, but just did not have faith in the Giants at that point. But hey, this was a $12, I think, maybe. So between this and the late night slate from Saturday, basically even on baseball. So that is all of the recaps. Let me cut some of this down over here. Um, again, we're just looking at doing one KBO lineup again. Um, I'm just entering a $3 3 entry max 198 person tournament. I don't know if DraftKings is looking to phase out Korean baseball or not, but it looks to me like a lot of the potential tournaments have changed. There's a lot of the structures that I'm not really liking, especially with the $12 single entries, or it just doesn't make sense to enter it. It's too, the numbers don't make sense. But this is a three, so we're looking at $3 here. Let's bring it up. $3 single. Again, we're looking at rain across a lot of it. So my thought is, this may not be a bad game to focus on. Actually, the question is which way do you want to go. You could possibly even look at a double up there on your pitchers. But if you're going to double up on the pitchers, you don't want to go with any hitters there as well. The Twins are right middle of the road. Wyverns have been scoring a few runs lately. They've got their average up above 4. So the real concern here is phone. Real concern here.
We are overcharged on our electric bill. If I press 1, we'll get a rebate check for the overage.
Okay. That sounds 100% legit.
You gonna say that?
What?
You gonna tell them about it?
Oh, it was a phone call about it. We got overcharged on our electric bill. And if we pressed 1, we would get a rebate check from the robocall that called us. So, gotta jump right on that. So, if we were to go this way, what would we do? That's why I'm just going to enter the one $3 tournament here, because too much of a chance of things getting rained out. I'm looking. Again, who's pitching against the Eagles? It's Tay in one, right? Right. Three wins. I mean, hey, this guy's got. He's 5-2, man. I'm taking him against the Eagles. I'm not even going to put too much thought into it right here, just cause. And then do I want to go with a pitcher over here? Yeah, I mean, spending either 10,200 or 9,700 on a game that possibly gets rained out is just too big of a risk. I'll spend 8,400 on a guy going against the Eagles on a game on a slate like this. But then do you take Tyler Wilson here going against the Wyverns? Who, like I said, it seems to have been hitting pretty well lately. Tyler pitches in a ton of away games. It's not terrible. He did well against the Wyverns earlier in the year. Let's take Tyler. Screw it. Let's take Tyler. All right, if we're gonna take Tyler, then we're gonna look at loading up on a Twins stack. Hope that the weather holds true. Maybe the Twins do awesome. We get one other game in, the slate stands, and we're good to go. Let's run it that way, huh? We're going to take Ramos for sure. First base. We're going to take Kim. Outfielder. Third and fourth hitters. G1, number 2 hitter. But then let's jump down here to Cheng Yi Hong, which is down here. Batting leadoff. Boom. That gives us a 4 stack already. Who would we want? Well, I would say I'm going to look at Min Sung Kim playing third base, batting fifth. All right, if we run it that way, that means we got $5,000 per player left. We don't know what's going to happen with the Storms. Right? We don't know what's going to happen where with the Storms. So we're going to look at taking Jawook Koo. We're looking at taking Jawook Koo in the outfield. Jawook Koo right here in the outfield for the Lions. Right? We're taking a picture there, so hey, let's hope that maybe this is the game that comes through. That leaves us with a lot of money left over. Let's see. There's nobody else that's for Samson. That's going to cost that much money. All right, let's take a look at all of Samsung's players here. I mean, we can take Sang-Soo Kim, he's only 4,500. which maybe we do. Maybe if we maybe we go ahead and look to grab Yang at catcher, and then go Sang-Soo Kim. I like it. I like it. We're going hopefully on a game that holds to the weather. Maybe get this one in. That's it. That's all we need. $3. We're not going to spend any more time about worrying about that right now. So that is our Korean baseball lineup for tonight. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. There'll be more baseball tomorrow. Coming up on basketball. Oh, and then let's see. And then just for the fun, I think that in the we put a lot of I guess they removed the leaderboard from the promos because it's over. Hmm. Well, that's everything for tonight. That's going to be all of our games for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday. Get more baseball, more KBO, more baseball. Start looking forward to, Thursday's going to be busy with. Wait, when's basketball start? Is it Thursday or is it Friday? Does anybody know? Thursday. Basketball returns on Thursday. Right, yeah. With a two team slate, and then real basketball full slate starts up on Friday. So yeah, so Wednesday night, we're gonna have Major League Baseball to bet on and to recap, KBO to bet on and recap. We're gonna have PGA to bet on, NBA to bet on. It's gonna start getting fun. So all right, everyone, have a great rest of your Monday. Stay safe out there. Have fun. Keep gambling. And good luck.